Hello friends, my name is Arun Kishore Voleti and welcome to my channel Learn Deep. We are currently in Python playlist and from my past few videos I have been taking a problem and I am clearly explaining you how to solve a problem. So the problem which I want to explain in this video is user will input a number or a string and we need to find whether it is a palindrome or not. So what exactly a palindrome is? Let me say, okay, I will take the terminal here. So if my input number is 123 and again 21. So if my input number is 12321, I can say it is a palindrome because the number will hold the same value even after it is reversed. So the original number is 12321. If you reverse this also, again it will appear like 12321 only. So if anything which holds the same value even after it is reversed, then it is said to be palindrome. In the case of strings also, let me say this is a string. Even after if you reverse the string, it will be the same as the previous one. So any number or a string which holds the same value even after it is reversed is called as palindrome. So what our task is, we need to find whether the entered string or a number is a palindrome or not. So I haven't discussed anything about strings yet. In my future videos, I will definitely make a video on string in which I'll clearly explain you what exactly a string is. But then for this video, I'll just give a basic introduction of what is a string. So let me say my string is something like this. Similar to arrays in C programming, we can also access string using the index. And the index also starts with 0. So if I say s of 0, I am going to get the first element. And similarly s of 4, I think I am going to get this last element. Similarly, you can get the values from the last also. To get the values from the last, you need to say s of minus 1, s of minus 2, and so on till s of minus 5. You will get the last element from the last. So in this way, you can access elements from the front as well as elements from the last. So to say whether a string is palindrome or not, what I have to do, I need to compare this first element with the last element. So what I can do is, I can simply say, if my s of 0 is equal to s of minus 1 or not. If it is equal, then I have to check whether s of 1 is equal to s of minus 2 or not. And finally, s of 2 is equal to s of minus 3 or not. So what I am doing here, I am just comparing whether my first element is equal to first element from the last or not. My second element is equal to second element from the last or not. And my third element is equal to my third element from the last or not. So this is what I am going to compute here. So for this purpose, what I have to do, I need to extract this first element as well as the last element. So I need to run a loop and I need to extract these elements. So let me say my loop counter starts with 0. Now my s of I will give first element from the front. And my s of minus I minus 1 will give me last element from the front. I mean first element from the last. So I need to compare these two. S of minus I in the sense minus 0 and minus 1. So it will make me S of minus 1. If my value is 1, I am going to get S of minus 1 minus 1, which is S of minus 2, second element from the last. If my value is 3, if my value is 2, the first element will be S of 2 and the second element will be S of minus 2 minus 1, which is S of minus 3. So what I have done here, I am just converting into a formula. So I need to check whether this is equal or not. Every time my loop counter will be incremented. So I am going to perform this same step. My loop counter is incremented, I have to perform the same step. So how long I have to perform this step? Until I reach the middle. So here the length is 5. So the middle value is 2.5. I need to seal this value, so I will get 3. So I have to perform until I reach the third element. And if my string length is 6, so let me say my string is S is equal to ABCCBA. Now my string length is 6. So how much extent I have to perform the same logic? I have to equate first element with the first element from the last, second element with second element from the last, third element with third element from the last, and I can break out of the loop. So in the case of even numbers, what I can do, I can directly execute till half of the length. In case of odd numbers, I have to execute till the half of the length plus 1. provided the length is of integer value. So I have to do floor division here. So if my length is an even number, I can directly do floor division with 2. If my length is odd number, I have to do floor division with 2 and I have to add 1 to it. So in this way, I can do verify whether a string is palindrome or not. So let's just quickly write down a program for this. So I'll take string as an input. String is equal to input of enter any string. So what I have to find next? I need to find the length of the string. So I'll take length as my variable. Length is equal to len of. So this is a function len which is going to return the length of an iterable. An iterable may be a list or a tuple or a string. So in this case we are using strings. So what I have to do? I need to find whether my length is even or odd. If my length is odd, I have to do floor division by 2 and I have to add 1. And if my length is even, what I can do? I can directly floor divide it with 2. So if my length percentage 2 double equal to 0, I can directly do length is equal to length by 2. Else I need to do length is equal to 1 plus length by 2. So for your convenience, what I'll do is I'll just print the length here. So if I take my string as ABCBA, I'm going to get 3. Similarly for ABCCBA also I'm going to get 3. So what I have explained in the terminal previously, I'm just converting it into the logic. Now what I have to do, I need to run a for loop for I in range of length. I will start from 0 and I'll execute till the length. As the range function will not consider the last element, if my length is 3, I am going to execute till 0, 1 and 2, which is my desired part. So what I have to check? If string of I is double equal to, so okay, instead of checking whether they are equal or not, what I will do is, I will check whether at any point of time they are not equal or not. If I found that, okay, these two are not equal, then what I will do? I will print not a palindrome and I can directly break out of the loop. If the loop is terminated because the number of iterations are finished, I can write else part and I can say print of palindrome. If you didn't understand why I'm writing like this for loop and else with for loop, just go and watch my previous video which I made on prime numbers. In that program I clearly explained of how to use else with for loop. So if I run this program, I'll get, okay, what I have to do? I have to find whether a string is palindrome or not. For loop will execute from 1 to length and my string of I, if it is not equal to string of colon colon minus 1, I have written something wrong here. I have to write minus I minus 1. If they are not equal, they're equal, then it's a palindrome. If I give a non-palindrome string like A, B, C, D, E, I'm going to get it is not a palindrome. So what exactly we are doing here? Wait a minute. Okay. So what exactly we are doing here? I'm comparing first element with first element from the last. And I'm comparing second element with second element from the last. And I'm doing these iterations until I reach the middle of the string. Once I reach the middle of the string, if this if condition is not executed, then definitely the entered string is a palindrome. But at any point of time, if I found that some nth element is not equal to nth element from the last, then it is not a palindrome and I can simply say it is not a palindrome and I can directly break out of the loop. This is one way of finding whether a number is whether a string is palindrome or not. So how to find whether a number is palindrome or not? We have found that, okay, string is palindrome or not, but then we need to find whether a number is palindrome or not. Actually, you can consider the number as a string and you can perform the same logic which you performed now. But if you want to do number crunching only, then you must know how to reverse a number. So now I will just tell you how to reverse a number. Reversing a number is quite easier. All you need to do is you need to just remember logic to reverse a number. First of all, what I'll do is I'll take a value, add some variable and initialize it with 0. Now take a number. My number is equal to 123. What you will do is every time you modify the add value using this formula. So if you print the add, first the add value has 3. So what exactly I am doing is I am multiplying this 0 with 10. 0 into 10 is equal to 0 and number percentage 10 is 3. So 0 plus 3 is 3. Now what I will do is I will do number floor division with 10. So I am going to have 12 and I am going to perform this same step. And if I print my add, I am going to have, so okay, I didn't modify my number. So what I will do is I'll again initialize my add with 0. Now what I'll do, I'll do this step. If I print my add you will have 3 and I'm modifying number is equal to number floor division with 10. And if I perform the same step which I performed earlier, and if I print my add value, I'm going to have 32. And if I again do the same step, and if I print my add value, I'm going to get 321, which is the reversed value of 123. So what exactly I'm doing here is this step is the heart of the program. To reverse a number, what you have to do, you need to initialize a value with 0. Every time you modify the value by multiplying the value with 10 and then adding the remainder to it. So first of all, the value is 0. 0 into 10 is 0 and 10 plus 3 is 3. Sorry, 0 into 10 is 0 and 0 plus 3 is 3. Now what I'll do is I'll remove this 3 from the number. How can I remove this 3 from the number? If I do 123 by 10, I'm going to get 12.3. But I don't want to make decimals. So what I'll do is I'll do floor division with 10. Once I divided my number with 10, what I'm going to get 123 on floor division with 10 gives 12. Again, I'm going to perform the same operation which I did earlier. I'll do 3 into 10 which is 30. 30 plus the remainder is 32. And similarly, I'm going to divide 12 with 10. I'm going to get 1. And 32 into 10 is 320. 320 plus 1 is 321. So in this way, we are going to reverse the number. Once the number is reversed, what we are going to do, we are going to just perform a simple verification like whether my reversed number is equal to original number or not. If they both are equal, then the number is palindrome. If they both are not equal, then the number is not a palindrome. So let's just quickly develop the logic for this. I'll take number is equal to int of input of enter any number. So now what I have to do, I am modifying my number like I am doing number is equal to number floor division with 10. So my number value is going to be modified. So what I have to do, I need to take a dummy variable and I have to store my number value in it. So for that purpose, I will take flag variable and store number value in the flag. Now what I will do, I will write a while loop till the number becomes 0. Every time what I will do is, I will take one more variable called add and I will initialize it with 0. I will say add is equal to add star 10 plus number percentage 10 and I will do number is equal to number floor division with 10. What I have shown you in terminal, I am doing the same operation here. So after executing this loop, what I will have, my add will have the reversed value of number. So what I have to do, I need to check whether the reversed value of number is equal to original number or not. So for this purpose, what I will do, I will write an if statement. I will check whether my add is equal to my original number or not. If they are equal, I am going to print the number as palindrome. And if they both are not equal, I am going to say not a palindrome. So in this way, I can find whether my number is palindrome or not. So let's quickly just check whether we are going to get, okay, I need to write double equal to here. So let's just quickly check whether we are getting the output or not. Okay, I'm getting, the number is palindrome, I'm getting palindrome. The number is not a palindrome, I'm going to get not a palindrome. So what exactly happening here is, I'm taking a number and I'm storing my number in some other variable. So as to preserve my number value till the end, I am going to reverse the number and I am going to store the number in some other variable, and I'll check whether the reversed value of number is equal to my original value or not. If they both are equal, I am going to say it's a palindrome. If they are not equal, I am going to say no, it's not a palindrome. In this way, you can check whether a number is palindrome or not. In the first time, we have used indexes to find whether a string is palindrome or not. In the second time, we are using number crunching to find whether a number is palindrome or not. But now I will tell you one beautiful technique which can directly reverse a string. Actually, what we are doing here, we are going to reverse the number and we are going to check whether the number is palindrome or not. So what I will do is I will directly reverse the string and I will directly check this one. So to reverse a string, as of now, just remember this one. I will take my string as Arun. I'll surely explain you in my video which I'll make on strings. What I'll do is I'll write s of colon colon minus 1. As of now, just remember this step which is capable of reversing a string. So what I can do, I can directly check whether my a is equal to a of double colon minus 1 or not. If the reversed value of a string is equal to original string, then it is a palindrome. If they are not equal, then it is not a palindrome. What I can do, I'll take a palindrome string and I'll execute the same step. So if the string is palindrome, this operation will definitely result true. If the string is not a palindrome, this operation will return false. So our code would become even more simpler. What I have to do, I can directly eliminate all these steps. What I'll do is, I'll just generalizely take user input. Whether it is a number or it is a string, I don't mind. I'll directly take it as a string. What I'll check, if my user input is equal to its reversed value or not. They are equal, I can directly say it is a palindrome. If they are not equal, I can say no, it is not a palindrome. Okay. So what we are doing here, no matter you enter a number or a string, I am going to consider it as a string. And in this single line, I am going to reverse the string and I am going to check whether my reversed string is equal to original string or not. If they both are equal, I can say it is a palindrome. If they both are not equal, it is not a palindrome. You can check with numbers also, because the number can also be considered as a string here, and you can check the same thing with strings here. In this way, you can find whether a number or a string is palindrome or not. But then if you are really particular and you want to take only number as input and you need to get output through this value, through this procedure, you can also do that. You can directly take number as input, but do remember, this can only convert strings only. This can only reverse strings. So what I'll do is, this user input is now an integer. Before reversing, what I'll do is I'll directly convert this user input into string. So now my user input is converted into a string and I'm going to reverse my string. But then I can't equate my number with a string. So what I'll do, again I'll convert this reversed string into integer. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking a number as input. I'm going to convert this number into a string and then I'm going to reverse the string, and again I'm going to convert the string into integer. Now what I'm checking, whether the reversed integer is equal to my original integer or not. So if I run this program, this will only take numbers as input. If you give a string, then it will definitely throw a value error. I will also show that. Previously didn't throw any value error because I am not converting it into string. I'm not converting it into integer. But now I have taken integer as an input and I am converting into string and I am reversing the string and I am again converting it into integer to check whether my reversed integer is equal to my original integer or not. So in this way you can check whether a number is palindrome or not. And this last program is very important because you are writing in Python. You are supposed to use the fullest benefits which are given by Python to you. In this way you can check whether any input integer or an input number is palindrome or not. So that's all for this video. If you like my video, just hit a like button. If you are new to my channel, do subscribe my channel and watch my previous videos for better understanding. Thank you and meet you in my next videos.